Hi everyone, welcome to Inbound After Hours, episode 8. Today we'll be talking about the platform HubSpot. How are you doing, guys? You alright?
Good, thanks. Good, yeah. Too bad?
Yeah, not bad. We've got Paul, we've got Andrew, we're down a man today. Ricky's not with us. Apparently he's in Ibiza. Is that right?
So I've heard.
Yeah.
No one's heard from him.
No one's heard from him. He's gone to Ibiza with his family. I
Conveniently turned Slack and email off.
Yeah, he's vanished, which he deserves because he works hard. But I just can't imagine Ricky in Ibiza because he's the most relaxed, quiet, sensible person we know. So
he's DJing. Yeah, it's not set out there.
He'll be DJing. But anyway, let's move on. We'll edit this bit out, Ricky, so you can't. Okay, so HubSpot is massive.
It is.
We use it. It's our chosen platform. For the guys listening, what is HubSpot? Anyone want to kick us off?
Everything, isn't it?
I mean, you probably know it's something to do with marketing if you're watching this video, but it's an all-in-one tool, heavily focused towards marketing, although they've built it out for sales now. Originally, it was a content marketing platform that sort of run away with itself because it's been so successful, has had millions of investment. It's a huge company now, and they coined the term inbound marketing to start with, and they've really sort of held the torch and pushed inbound forward, and inbound sort of follows the HubSpot tool as much as HubSpot follows what inbound is. It's the sort of at the same point. So HubSpot as a company release a new aspect of HubSpot, and that therefore becomes a new part of the methodology because they are the ones that invented it. It's quite an interesting symbiotic relationship, but yeah, to us it's the tool we use every day. You do your blogging on it, your landing pages, your emails, you manage your contacts in there. It records everything you
social sharing.
Social sharing and reporting. You can build websites.
It's the engine of everything we do. I mean, you think back to the early days when we were an SEO/design/PPC company. How many different platforms do we use?
Yeah, I mean, we still use a lot of tools, but back in the day, you'd have a different tool for everything.
Hootsuite, you'd have MailChimp, and all these different. And there were no closed loop reporting and stuff.
No, everyone hacked together either their own little reporting systems or API'd into dashboards and all that sort of stuff, which people still do, but HubSpot really hit the ground running with this all-in-one dashboard view, pulling together the things that it saw as being fundamental to generating traffic and leads and customers.
It's good to keep adding the bits that are missing as well, aren't they? You alluded to a bit then. They say, I don't know, before we were involved on HubSpot, there was probably no social tool, but then everybody was pulling out the blog content and putting it into something like Buffer or Hootsuite. So HubSpot have built a really good social tool.
I know what they actually, when I started working at Digital 22, I can remember I spoke to somebody at HubSpot about the tools, and I know they've always been very strong with the blog tool and the content publishing, because that's where they sort of began. And I think since day one they had all the tools, but they were quite upfront with saying that it was pretty basic, like the social one, for example. Their sort of strong suit was that it was connected to the blog tool that was strong, so that you could see who's gone between your social message to the blog in your contact record. And they were quite, again, I'll go back to them being quite open about everything being simple, like with the ads add-on, which is one of the newest big releases that's sort of concrete now. They started off just being able to analyse stuff, so they're very, very good at just getting something out there that looks great, it's very stable but simple, and then they continuously upgrade and iterate and improve that.
How many times have you had someone say that as well? It's if you don't like to do something, you show somebody or they show you, and guarantee the person being shown something will go, oh, it's actually really simple that. And again, that's another, in that respect.
Their argument for things like the ads tool is it kind of plays in their favour, but it should be simple. And there's a lot of complicated tools out there, a lot of big old tools that make things very complicated, and they can do absolutely everything. But they're thinking, what do you actually need? Let's boil this down for us and you. Like, we want to get a tool out there. They make everything look lovely, and it's dead simple. And you think, I can see why you're getting away with that because it's brand new to you, but actually I can't really argue. It does its job.
It's They've just been valued recently at 2.5 billion. That's not bad.
Us?
No, HubSpot. So within 10 years, that's not bad. And they've just had another 300 million of investment on their development team. I mean, how can anyone keep up with that? It's just great, and that's why we've gone all in with HubSpot.
Yeah.
Because we have.
That tells you where the future is, doesn't it?
Yeah, of course it does. And we'll get onto this later on, all the new stuff, what's coming out, the stuff me and Ricky picked up in Dublin as well. There's a couple of non-disclosures.
Always going on.
Always going about Dublin, yeah. He needs to get away. Business.
Yeah.
We're definitely sending you on the next one. Definitely. I'll stay at home. I'm
Don't bother me. It worked.
So it's a CMS, it's a CRM, it's a social tool, it's got sales enablement, sales teams, it goes on and on.
I think that a lot of people don't realise that about the sales side as well. Yeah. We find that with a lot of clients, don't we? That
it's either one or the other. Like most of ours, like you say, don't understand the sales bit, and that's a whole other podcast about the importance of the sales and marketing alignment. But then we've had the odd one, they've come in on...
Because the sales bit.
Yeah, because the sales CRM is actually free. Which I think they've done because they're wanting to build it up. But some people come to us actually asking for help with the sales side, and you're like, but what about the marketing? And they're, oh right, okay, I can do that kind of. And it's interesting. And it just, I mean, again, another podcast, but that shows you how apart sales and marketing can be from that angle.
I know it sounds like we're big in HubSpot. Well, we are really, because I think they're brilliant. We really do.
I mean, yeah, it was...
we wouldn't be where we're at as an agency without them, I don't think. We'd still be.
No. Is the one like it, in the interest of impartiality, is the one that's, what's their competitor?
Yeah, there's a few. So there's the two bigger ones, or the biggest I'd say would be Marketo, which was that's recently been bought out. I think it's a cheaper option to HubSpot. It's not as fully fledged, and I don't think it's quite as slick.
That's one thing I've heard off other people who aren't just quite sold on HubSpot, is that the price.
Yeah,
it's quite pricey.
HubSpot is pricey.
It's an objection. We've got a couple of blogs on it. I know HubSpot do a good one as well about building HubSpot. They call it Frankenspot. So basically, if you wanted to do HubSpot on a WordPress site with plugins, how much they work their way through all their plugins, pick something that's in the same area. It doesn't have to be better or just as good. It can even be a simpler version, but they will get a similar result. And they add up the costs, and over a year, and the price is astronomical to actually do it on WordPress yourself. And the time, the fact that it's not actually connected properly, and the fact it probably break down at some point.
When one of them's not updated.
Because it's an all-in-one, the costs are all-in-one, and it looks like a big ticket for one thing, but if you actually split that out with all of the tools and just gave them their own little individual price, that's £20 a month, that's £5 a month, it'd all look very cheap because you're getting so much. I think it's just a visual thing. People are, it's a bit of a scary thing to jump into when a lot of people have not done this before.
It is for small businesses, 1, 2 man, 10 man bands, but I think for our persona, which are businesses from, is it 8 million up to 100 million?
Yeah.
These guys can afford.
Definitely.
I think we speak to some people as well, don't we? It's not their only marketing tool.
Yeah. No.
So that's the ballpark. Maybe they're aiming at, especially if you've got, what did you say, 300 million?
$300 million dollars of investment, just next round of investment come through just for development,
You've got to remember that there's a free version. You can go and get a free version. It's reduced, you can't do all the stuff, but you can chuck your contacts in there. You can start using the dashboard and getting a feel for how it's going to be, which is a great one for getting people on board.
And we'll put a link to it there. I've always wanted to do that.
Yeah.
Did we do that the other week? I did something like this.
Yeah.
We haven't edited that one yet, so we will do.
Make it happen.
So we'll put that in. Let's talk about HubSpot personally then. How we all use it in different levels. So start with you, Paul. What do you like about HubSpot? What part of it do you use most?
I use the blogging and the social the most historically, and now I'm doing more and more on the reporting side. Today, I'll just look at today. I've been helping clients get into I've seen a form submission do this. Where can I find that person and more information? And just making videos for them, showing them how to go from the form they've submitted. That's the only information he had.
Yeah.
Then we've gone set the date parameter and so on, and you found who submitted it, and then you can go in and you can see that person's journey around your website, what blogs they've read, where they came in from, all because they filled in that form. And I think that's what. I think you'll be similar, won't you? That's what we spend a lot of time doing, looking at the stats of what the users are doing all over your website, all over the blog, social profile, what emails they've read, everything.
Let's strip it back to the basics then. So you're going to create a blog. I know how easy it is. I'm asking you so you can explain to the viewers how easy it is to put the content in a blog and optimise it. It's just
yeah. Well, what we do is we write in a Google Doc just for our internal process, but HubSpot's got their own blog writing tool that's distraction free. It's similar to WordPress's blogging tool. So we'll upload the copy straight in, but you could have just typed that, and then you'll input your blog title. You'll set a feature image which goes onto the blog homepage. You'll set your URL and your meta title and meta description. It's even got an optimization tool where you'll input your keywords for the blog post, and then it'll tell you how many times you've used each of them, whether it's in your title or in your meta, and give you orange crosses of anything you've missed, and green tick everything that you've got, and then you can hit schedule or publish then. And it's, I mean, you could just give someone the link, and we have done, because we've recently switched to having everybody in the company do a blog, people who've never done a blog before on HubSpot. You show them, there's your blog post, have a go, ask me if you need anything, and the first time you get asked a question is, right, I've done everything, can you just check it's all done? And it usually is.
It's just a traffic light system, isn't it? It's read if it needs doing. If you're missing a keyword, it'll tell you. If you're not got a backlink to an internal page, it'll tell you.
It even tells you images are missing and alt text, which I've used a few blogging tools in the past, and not all of them do that. It's just the little things like that that you do forget when you're doing 3 blogs a day or whatever.
I think from anyone listening who's in-house, obviously we're an agency who manage HubSpot accounts for people and for businesses, and obviously ourselves. It's nice to know, we're saying it from our side, but if you're an in-house person, whether you've got an agency or not, HubSpot has actually been built for you and not us. It's easy to us, we're more that way inclined and we use it every day, but it's made for in-house people to be able to, you might have a developer build your blog and your site and get you set up, or an agency, but you are as prepared and able to jump in there, write your own blogs, optimize your own web pages, create your own landing pages, and that's the whole point. The whole point is this continuous analysis for everyone in the business, sales, marketing teams. It's as easy for everyone, and HubSpot's done a great job of reducing those barriers of entry to marketing, analysis, analytics. The whole, previously it was often a Google Analytics account. They've pulled a lot of those features in, and we'll go on to that later with the new features that they're actually releasing. And I think what they're doing a great job of it is, yes, they've got the all-in-one tool, but of those tools and the things that used to sit out in other departments, like data, for example, and analytics and bounce rates and things that marketers may need to email the tech guys to do, and that can be tricky, or people don't run out of time, so things get held up. It's all going into literally the front dashboard now, and it really is it already does, but I think their goal is just to empower marketers to do better marketing and do better inbound, and just have all the tools without having to carve their own path, so to speak.
And the content tools are usable to anybody who's used Blogger, WordPress, Squarespace, any of the...
Gmail. You can send an email on Gmail, you can pretty much jump in and send an email on HubSpot.
Yeah, that's a good point, what you said about the dashboard and the stats being there. It doesn't... Every other tool I've used in the past it's for content production. And if you want to look at the marketing analytics, head over here in the tool. But what HubSpot does is just fuses it together. When you're producing the content, it's content mode. And then once it's live, it's marketing mode, and it pulls it. It's in the same place. It then adds on all that data underneath, and it's there, and it's handy.
It's there. Tell you what they're good at predicting. I was sort of about a month or two ago. I was saying, bloody hell, we're spending all this money on Adobe stock library, paying X amount for our blogs, and then next minute we get a release saying.
Remember you saying that?
They partnered up with Shutterstock now, so we can just jump in Shutterstock and pull any image off free of charge and just throw it straight in your blog. I mean, things like that. They're always...
They're marketers, they're in the community. If there's
They'll have seen the blogs, won't they? Because everyone submits their blogs, so your top view blogs get through to HubSpot, and they'll have been seeing that everybody's using... I've forgotten what site's called.
Flickr,
using
stuff off like...
They'll get the same images, won't they?
And they'll know that... We all know you spend however long writing a blog, and then it probably takes as long to find a good stock image.
Well, said it today, didn't she? She said, sorry, it took so long, I've just been
get really frustrated
trying to find an image I can use.
And I think they're very well aware of that. They're quite involved in the community. One of the points I got for today about why I like HubSpot is not just the software, but they actually seem to be bothered about the community, and they are actual marketers. They're quite geeky and into it all. They're not just a product and like a corporate sort of entity. They're part owned or invested in inbound.org, which is a great website. Some of you may have been on it or not. We'll put it in the show notes, but that's like a forum for inbound marketing. Tons of questions on there from agencies in-house, people who've never even done it before, copywriters, all these different things, and it's a bit of a melting pot, and they're on there, they're invested in that, so they've got a direct line into what people are struggling with, and it's perfect inbound marketing for their own products. They just look at the pain points, answer them through development, and release that out.
Did you... I interviewed Sam. I can't say his last name because it's really long. I interviewed Sam. He's the guy who project led inbound.org. I interviewed him last week on inbound influencers, what we'll put in the link. Have you guys watched that? Yeah, so he's a really clever guy. I mean, we're going to set up another call with him. And that's another great site. You should be on if you're a marketer. Jump on there.
Yeah.
Can we nip back to you, Paul? So you've created your blog and then you're going to social share. How easy is it?
Literally takes you to the next screen for after you hit publish that has the marketing stats underneath, and then there's edit. I think there's clone on blog. If not, there is on everything else. Edit, share, and you hit share, and it comes up with starts with Twitter, write a message, pulls in the feature image, the link works. It's a preview link. You can now change it into an image card, so you can choose. That was one of the pitfalls before when we talked about it being simple, and they'd give you a simple view on everything when you were on about ads, and you might want to do something else. That's one of the slight pitfalls of it, but what they do is when they find that pitfall, is they improve it. So now they've improved the social sharing, is you can now shape your message a bit better, schedule your next one of the tweets, click onto the next tab, and there's your Facebook post. It's aware of character limit, image type, and so on. And then you do LinkedIn and Google Plus, and then I believe Instagram's coming soon, automated Instagram. So they'll be the first, or anyone else who's got the same deal, but they'll be the first company to have automated Instagram posting, and it'll be there in your tool, which is just
little tip for anyone who does use HubSpot, which you may not know. If you do your scheduling, make a mistake, something goes live, you can delete from within HubSpot. You can just go into your published messages for Twitter and Facebook.
That's one thing that should be on the next round of improvements. All your social posts that are scheduled go into one big queue. So when you've got a campaign, you're halfway through a campaign, you've got 2 months of posts to wade through to find the one related to that blog that's got a typo in the title. But I'm sure they'll fix that.
I know we've mentioned it on podcast 3 and 5 about how we social share our content. We'll put that again in the show notes. That's really useful. LinkedIn, Facebook, and how we do that. Frequency. That's been probably 12 to 18 months of trial and testing to get that actual formula. So we'll give you that, and that's in the show now. Thank you, Paul. Andrew, I know you're in this thing 8-10 hours a day. What's your favourite bits?
Where to start, really? I'm a bit of my favourite bit of the whole of inbound. I love landing pages. I like building them. I don't. I'm not meant to. My job. You'll probably catch me
what happens when you build one?
Yeah. I get flicked. Yeah. I'm not meant to do it anymore. But I find myself drawn towards tweaking landing pages because I really enjoy it, and that's probably come from me not being a developer, but wanting to, not like James over here, not being able to build a web page from scratch or anything like that, and feeling a bit slightly more powerful with this landing page tool that I can create a nice looking page. I can create the form and I can, play around with it, and then obviously that is the funnel for where you get your results, which is obviously great. But with HubSpot, I think I was quite surprised when I first started using it. I felt like I'd used it before. Yeah. I'm sure that's what their goal is, of great design, but nothing was out of place. I didn't have to go route. You never have to go routing for anything. It's a few clicks away, sort of thing. But for me, big fan of landing page tool, big fan of the email tool. The overall, just like the UI and design of it is great, and they've just refreshed that, and they seem to refresh it quite a lot, which is good. It's nice, it's lovely, and there's a nice colour palette, which is a bit sad, but I like it. It's nice to look at when you think
I've not been on it for a bit, but what's the thing called where you put suggestions on, what's it called, HubSpot? It's like a suggestion box, and it's like a forum, and stuff gets upvoted.
I don't know what it's called. It's like is it the developer forum?
Yeah, it's a
developer forum.
Developer forum.
Yeah, you can put on like I think it's like the ideas. You could say this would be good, and people upvote it, and if it gets the most votes, they will have a go, sort of thing, or at least
in the next sprint.
It goes to the meeting, which is really good, and a lot of good features have come out of that. I don't know whether we want to talk about some of the brand new stuff that's just coming out, but one of the interesting features, they've introduced an unbounce feature. So when you're emailing a database, you'll get a mixture of successes, soft bounces, which are retries, you'll get some unsubscribes, and you'll get some hard bounces. A hard bounce being a dead email, an email that doesn't exist, or something else.
Someone's left the business.
Some sort of error, So that happens, and that's valid a lot of the time. But there is sometimes where there was just some error, and when something hard bounces in HubSpot, you can't send another email to that account. So they've just you used to have to sort of grovel to the sort of development team and ask them to unbounce them. It can often be a big chunk of contacts if there's been some sort of error with a firewall or something on the client's side or the people you're trying to market to. So they just released a feature where you can actually manually do that yourself, which I think is really good and adds to that empowerment thing I was on about for marketers. And the analytics dashboard, I think I touched on how they're trying to bring things in. I'm a big fan of the main marketing dashboard, which shows you your visits, your leads, your customers. At the top where it says marketing dashboard, there's a little drop down. Click on that. There'll be, I think if you've got the sales CRM, you can flick it to the sales one, but below that it'll say web analytics dashboard, and that effectively is a boiled down Google Analytics. It'll tell you time on site, pages viewed, bounce rate, sort of exit pages, that sort of thing, all in the same way that HubSpot looks, so it's very easy for you to understand. And then because that data's in there, you've got the same options for sort of exporting it as a PDF for your boss, or you can set it up on the weekly emails.
That'd be good, won't it, when it gets there, because I know when we do reports, you're still into other tools, aren't you, for reporting behaviour, conversions and so on.
Yeah, it's I think it's like a first stage, it's quite new, but I still use Google Analytics, I won't lie, I do still go over there and use that for reports and stuff, but it's just nice. I'm just a big fan of how they're sort of always pushing the envelope, it seems. Obviously they've got the investment and the desire to grow, but it seems, I think a lot of other, I've used other tools like Infusionsoft and Drupal and other sort of CMSs, and HubSpot just seems to be the most sort of active in terms of updates and general new things that they're bringing to the table, which I think is really exciting.
We've talked about pros, let's talk about cons. What's bad about HubSpot apart from price? Is there anything?
Some stuff is still too simple, but like we said before, they improve that, don't they? I think what their tactic must be is get it on, get it connected to whatever that it's going to be for, and then we'll improve it a bit like the GED stuff we spoke about before, I guess. So like they're always improving the social tool or the workflow tool. When it first came, when I first started using it, was quite static. You'd have to work to people's behaviour, how they might act to an email workflow. You'd have to make a new workflow, and so you'd go through one step, and then depending how they behaved, if they did this, add them to this workflow, and then that'd be another one, and how they behaved, add them to this workflow. So what they've done since then is now add if branches within a workflow that are more developed. So you can have a workflow in the same tool, in the same page, that spreads however much you want it to. Whereas before you used to have a chain of workflows.
Visually it's much better.
Visually it's much easier, it's quicker, they tend to do that for most things, I think.
Yeah, I've found, I mean, the one we talked about before is the ads tool, which is a new tool for them. I think it's not a negative at all, but it was one of the things that I think a lot of agencies and some of the more people in-house advanced that in the ads world may have come across is the AdWords tool was very simplistic. In the LinkedIn tool when it launched, I know they've introduced Facebook now. They were pretty basic. It's not a negative really. The thing about HubSpot is any bad things, I think they've got rid of a lot of that. They've never had a bad tool in my eyes since I've started working with them. It was usually a design principle or a simplicity thing. The feature was always there. It might have just been a bit of an extra few steps which they've sort of cut down over time.
And what's nice is they say that, don't they?
Yeah, they're quite open about it.
It's beta or it's first version.
Yeah.
Next one's coming in 6 months or whatever. The other thing that we do get bugged about, or that does bug us rather, is how Americanised it is. Like, you do something on it and it's like, good job. And
you're amazing. Like, we're not amazing. Stop saying that.
I like all that.
Do you like
you
all
love
that?
it.
I like all that.
Yeah, we're just
Like
singing
all
full
the
British.
I know what you mean though.
It'd be nice if, like, I think of the again, I was going to just go off on one about like the report side and the reporting in general, which is great, but we know there's a lot more out there, and they've got that much data. I'm sure they've got some like super dashboard at HubSpot HQ with like crazy insights, which they drip feed out.
What they do show us, I don't get why they can't show us everything analytics does.
Yeah, they've obviously got all that information somewhere. It's not a negative, and at the end of the day,
You're not listening.
Yeah. Sorry, but I think where they're at, it always gets boosted by the fact that it's all connected. And you only need this much across every single tool you've done to make some amazing decision, as opposed to all this much in one specific area, which you can't really do much with outside of that tool. So I think they have approached, they're trying to grow the sort of places where people interact and have a foot in all of those pools rather than A to Z in one. They're just going a short space across everything and bringing it all together.
So I'm listening to this, I'm an in-house marketeer, I don't want to spend any money right now, and I want to test this. What do I do?
I would get yourself signed up to the free CRM. Get access to that. Get the sales CRM if you want that as well. I'd sign up to the newsletters, the HubSpot, go through their academy, figure out how to use the thing, just sit and have a play around, get a test database imported into it, link up your social, and just sit and go through the training videos. I know it's boring, but you'll miss something unless you do that. And just figure out what you're trying to achieve and just have a go at doing that. The free CRM is mainly for managing a contacts database, tracking behaviour, as opposed to sending out emails and having subdomains set up on your site and converting people. And you do have to start to pay for that, but the free CRM will give you a very good indication of what it's capable of and how easy it is to use. So I'd have a go with that, and then give us a call, and we'll take it from there.
One thing you mentioned there,
that was my blog.
I do think this is fantastic because it saves us a fortune in-house training people. We just send them to the academy, so they invest so much money
Yeah.
on doing these academy video training courses step by step. At the end, there's an online sort of certification that's really hard to pass.
Yeah.
And there's so many different things. And as soon as someone starts an hour business, that's the first month they're doing that. They've got to get certified in everything. And I just think there's no other training facilities out there as good as them, I don't think.
No.
What I've seen in.
No, it's all video based. You can now, for a lot of the courses, download the study guide as well, if you're not a visual learner. It's really good, great content. They've got, I don't know how many courses now, they've got over 10, I know.
10, 15.
Some big, and each course is a good 10-15 hours worth of videos, which is
meaningful, aren't they, as well?
They're all very relevant, they're all very specific. There's specific ones for email, content specifically, customer relations, design, the tool. A lot of them are 2 parts where you've got to learn, then do it and submit what you've done.
That surprised me when I started. It's funny too.
Got to actually prove, you know.
You've got to submit like
a lot of stuff,
portfolio of stuff, that you've done, and it says right, you've done the exam, and I was like, right, I'll do part 2, and it's like, it'll take you like 6 months to get enough evidence.
You can't just,
and that's a free certificate, so it's serious. It's good.
I don't know anyone who's passed it first time unless you guys do. And you always you watch them all 20 odd hours worth, and you fail it, you're going to get 70%. I've got like 66. I'm like, bastard. So you got to go watch them all again and do it. But it's good because you have to learn it.
Yeah. No, it is. I think it's testament to sort of their investment in the inbound movement as opposed to just their tool. I know we always harp on about inbound in Boston, but when you go there, they do actually say we're not here to sell.
You're going to Boston, aren't you?
Little trick for you. Yeah. But they made a point of like, okay, they don't really talk about other softwares, but they're not there to sell HubSpot outwardly. They're not. Each talk doesn't end with have a go on HubSpot. They just talk about the specific HubSpot talks, but there's a lot. It's just inbound as a new marketing movement and content and all the other stuff. So
it's hard, isn't it? We were apprehensive to do this podcast talking about HubSpot. I know we name drop them, but we try not to talk about it. We talk about inbound and tactics and they're bloody good, and we wouldn't be here without them, I don't think. Or we would be, but it'd be a lot more challenging.
It would. It'd take us a lot. Yeah, it'd be tougher. And I think you're right to say, we don't just talk about HubSpot because HubSpot is just a tool at the end of the day. You can't just buy HubSpot, turn it on, and it brings you leads.
That's a good point.
We've had clients facing that, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean the price is. Some people wish it would because they're paying a high price, but HubSpot's nothing without inbound. Inbound could probably be done without HubSpot, and I'm sure before HubSpot came along, they found out that the people that were winning online were these people who wrote blogs 20 years ago and were ranking number 1 for because they help people, and that's how inbound came around. Because they probably thought, what's going on there? And that was sort of like it snowballed from there. But yeah, HubSpot's fantastic, but not much without inbound and that sort of methodology behind it.
Yeah, great. Any useful links we can put? I've wrote a few down. We've got a demo link, so if you want to actually watch a demo of the video, we'll put that in the show notes. And there's a site on the HubSpot, there's a page called Why HubSpot as well. We'll put that in there for you as well. Anything else we can give the viewers? Any more tips or?
Just
these blue moons.
Our latest download, which is just going live this week, is a comparison between a lot of the most popular platforms. So it compares HubSpot, WordPress, Drupal. Yeah, I think that might be it. And what we do is we put them side by side. It's a huge feature checklist. Download, massive value. If you are wondering what platform's right for you, I know we spent over half an hour saying it's HubSpot. We've tried to be as objective as possible in this guide, so we'll put a link to that down below and you can have a look at that.
Brilliant. Just before we finish then, anything new coming out you know of that's not been launched? Or?
The Instagram one for me is going to be big, especially with a couple of our clients at the minute.
Yeah, video stuff, again, being over in Dublin. Yeah, there's a lot of add-ons with the Facebook video now, so we can start doing a lot of video content live.
A lot of native stuff,
that's coming out. There's something awesome coming out, but we've got a non-disclosure on it at the minute. It's like a 4th part to but I get my ass kicked if I mention it. So
okay, we'll leave it there then.
Yeah, we'll leave it there. which it's amazing. So yeah, all good. Anything else to add, guys? Or
no, I think that's it.
Okay, Ricky, hope you're having a good time.
Hope it's cold. No.
Yeah. And we'll see you next week, guys. Thank you very much.
Cheers, Ricky.
Bye.